All right, guys. I've been telling people this, and I hope that someday somebody will listen to your boy. Okay? Because I've been telling people that AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is an extremist. Okay? If Trump is an extremist, the way that Twitter defines who an extremist is, AOC fits right into that box. She is at the far left edge of extremist ideology. Okay? She just puts a lipstick on a pig. She puts a smile on her face. She sugarcoats it under the disguise of social justice and trying to be morally right. Okay? But it's not morally right. What it is that she believes that the world should be a certain way. And if you don't agree with her, if you don't agree with her policy, if you don't agree with her worldview, then you are a bad person. Okay? Trust me, guys. She will go through any extreme in order to try to denigrate and discredit the careers of any of her opponents who she believes that she can frame in a way that is going to instill fear into her constituency. And that's currently what she's doing right now with the GOP. She's picking GOP lawmakers and she's trying to frame them as dangerous to society and instill fear in her constituents of these people, okay? And broadly, the GOP, right? Now, who can imagine what this may lead to in the future in terms of some possible backlash towards the GOP? So recently, she's been trying to get Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley kicked out of the Senate. Okay, she's been asking for their removal. Now, her latest stunt is her telling people that she feels like her life is in danger because of GOP lawmakers. But before we get in that, my name is Greg Foreman and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share A Black Conservative Perspective, aka a leftist worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. Let's get it. All right, guys. So, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez did not show up to the inauguration. And truthfully, nobody cared that she wasn't there except CNN. So CNN, who's the only people that are wondering or care about where AOC is, was asking her, why did she not show up to the inauguration? And we're going to take a look at this interview and how she tries to fear-monger her constituents and voters in order to be afraid of the GOP. Take a look.
You knew that people would ask why you weren't there. This was a good cause from your perspective of dealing with your constituency, but this was supposed to be a show of force and unity, and you weren't there. Explain it.
Yeah, I think we also had very real security concerns as well. As you mentioned earlier, we still don't yet feel safe around other members of Congress.
How many are we?
I think a very considerable amount. A lot of members do not.
You really think that colleagues of yours in Congress may do you dirty?
Yeah, well, one just tried to bring a gun on the floor of the House today. I believe it was Representative Andy Harris of Maryland. He tried to bring in a gun onto the House floor. For individuals who don't know, guns are not allowed in the District of Columbia, and certainly the House floor is there are separate House rules that prohibit the bringing in of firearms. Now, these are rules that date back to the Civil War, and these are individuals that are trying to sneak firearms either illegally or in direct violation of House rules. Why does a member of Congress need to sneak a gun onto the House floor?
Do you think they're bringing it in there because they want to protect all of you from, insurrectionists like we saw a couple of weeks ago? Or do you think there really is a chance that you may be the enemy?
Well, here's what I'll say. The moment you bring a gun onto the House floor in violation of rules, you put everyone around you in danger. It is irresponsible, it is reckless, but beyond that, it is in violation of rules. You are openly disobeying the rules that we have established as a community, which means that you cannot be trusted to be held accountable to what we've decided as a community. And so I don't really care what they say their intentions are. I care what the impact of their actions are. And the impact is to put all 435 members of Congress in danger. He tried to hand off his gun to another member who didn't have a license. And at any responsible gun owner, no.
All right. So there you have it. You see AOC stirring up that fear of the GOP. So let's break down exactly what she was saying here. Okay, so she was saying that she didn't show up for inauguration because she felt scared. She said that some members of Congress are in fear, living in fear actively because of what happened on the 6th. Okay, and guys, you know how ridiculous that sounds. This is a prime example of extremists like AOC taking one incident and extrapolating it to a conclusion that all of the GOP are dangerous. All of the GOP are like those people that stormed the Capitol. This is how they do it. They don't say it directly. They do stuff like this where they try to say, well, because of this event that happened between a very, very, very small minority of your supporters, I now believe that all of you guys are a threat and a danger. Okay? So she's doing that to try to trick her constituents into believing that. That's what she wants. That's the end goal here. Does she really feel like her life is in danger? Hell no. Okay? You know why she doesn't feel like her life is in danger? Because since she's been there, nothing has happened. I mean, as far as I know, there hasn't been any Congress members actually shot in the Capitol on the House floor by another Congress member. Okay? So your chances of being shot and killed by a Congress member is almost zero, especially since she know there's no guns allowed on the House floor. Also, AOC, if you feel so afraid, right, in the Capitol with all these Republicans around who are carrying, why don't you start carrying, right? Like, why don't you want to try to protect yourself? Honestly, that's the only logical way to respond, right? But no. Her response is to try to take away their right to protect themselves. And this is the reason that she tries to overlook the reason why Representative Harris was carrying the gun, okay? I mean, you can tell these people don't know anything about the Second Amendment because the whole reason of carrying is to protect yourself, first and foremost. And then you protect others, but you protect yourself first. It's for self-defense, okay? You're defending yourself. But see, in doing this whole conversation, they named a whole bunch of other reasons outside of purely self-protection, okay? So you don't necessarily know what this man may be going through or how he may feel about his life being in danger. So the thing is, to say that he doesn't have a good reason to carry is really short-sighted and very closed-minded, because that means that you don't understand why responsible gun owners carry. She also doesn't care, right? So let's actually take a look at the real reason why Representative Harris was carrying the gun. So U.S. Capitol Police are investigating a report that Representative Andy Harris, a Republican from Maryland, tried to take a gun onto the House floor Thursday, a department spokesperson said. During a House vote Thursday afternoon, Harris was stopped at security and then immediately turned around. He briefly huddled with Representative John Katko, representative from New York, by the elevators and may have discussed the weapon with Katko, according to a report by HuffPost. Quote, one security officer saw a firearm on the person of Representative Harris and relayed that to his superiors, a Capitol official told NBC News. To be clear, Representative Harris did not enter the floor. The metal detectors were put in place by Speaker Nancy Pelosi after the deadly January 6th riot at the Capitol. They have become a flashpoint among some Republican members, and they have at times created tension with the police. And guys, again, people want to get upset about the whole, oh, Republicans are not trying to follow the rules, and Republicans are trying to get around this and get around that. Well, none of this was a problem until they put metal detectors in the Capitol for literally no reason. Okay, what happened on the 6th was bad. What happened on the 6th was a tragedy. Most conservatives that I know denounce what happened. But see, these Democrats, again, this is their way of trying to show America the Republicans are bad people. Oh, we got to put metal detectors there. And they know that people are allowed to carry inside the Capitol building. They know that. And they know that a lot of the people that are carrying, a majority Republicans. So they put the metal detectors there right after that event to try to say, oh, we're doing it for safety. And knowing that it was going to cause issues with some of the Republicans that carry, she knew that. This is how these people think, okay? Knowing that once, inevitably, there's some issues or some tensions between the police, they can say, look, you see those Republicans? They don't care about our safety. Matter of fact, they're actively trying to put us in danger. They're actively trying to bring weapons on the House floor. Again, these Democrats are sneaky. Some Republican members have chaffed at walking through magento meters and submitting to hand-wringings. At one door alone Thursday, at least a half dozen evaded or brushed past officers despite the threat of fines. The Capitol official added that House members were allowed to carry firearms in the halls and on Capitol grounds, including the Capitol building, but not the floor, adding that ammo has to be separately compartmentalized. Harris' office responded to a request for comment overnight because his and his family lives have been threatened by someone who has been released awaiting trial for security reasons. The congressman never confirms whether he nor anyone else he's with are carrying a firearm for self-defense. As a matter of public record, he has a Maryland handgun permit, and the congressman also complies with the House metal detectors and wanding. The congressman has never carried a firearm on the House floor, the statement said. So, lo and behold, as soon as you get the statement in his side of the story, nobody's surprised in terms of what the reasoning was. Obviously, the man cares about self-defense. Is it really a crime in this country to want to defend yourself? Okay, and the thing is, people like AOC try to frame situations like this, where he's obviously caring for self-defense, to try to say, oh, well, he's trying to actively put us in danger. He might use it on the floor. I'm afraid for my life. I'm scared. I don't even know if it's comfortable to show up to the events because of the Republicans. Man just trying to defend himself. Man been receiving threats. Man has a policy that a lot of responsible gun owners have, which they don't like confirming or denying if they're carrying. Right? He just wanted to go about his business and be a responsible gun owner, but yet people like AOC want to whine, bitch, and complain about it. Again, this is just another sign of how these far leftists are so out of touch with the average person. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about the Second Amendment. They don't care about your rights to self-defense. They don't care about your freedom. They don't care about your liberties. It's their way or the highway. You have to follow our rules. And they will take advantage of every single situation they can in order to try to get their way and to transform society into their utopian communist vision. And guys, was Congressman Harris trying to break the rules? I don't know. Obviously, if the House rules are you can't have a firearm, then he shouldn't be trying to sneak a firearm in there. However, I can't say for sure whether he forgot it, and maybe he knew it was on him. He definitely probably knew it was on him. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but if that's what he was trying to do, then obviously that's the wrong thing to do. But my problem is that instead of AOC attacking that on the merits, just say, listen, we're just not supposed to have guns on the House floor. I know you want to protect yourself, but these are the rules. I'm sorry. I think I would have been okay with it. But it's the fact that she's trying to frame these people as potential threats against her and other members in the House, I think is kind of ridiculous. And to me, this is a big deal because the Democrats are subtly trying to frame conservatives as imminent threats to society. I'm not exaggerating about this, actually. This is what they're doing. And this is just a part of that game that AOC is playing. And guys, this is why I say that AOC is an extremist. This is extremist language. This is language and behavior that has the potential to cause harm. Okay? She may not realize that. But we've already seen what their rhetoric has created with these Antifa groups out in Oregon. I've seen that. And see, I keep, warning about this because I'm telling you, it's going to happen in the Biden administration. These left-wing groups with the 0.0000001% Trump supporters, what they did at the Capitol looked like a child's game. If Democrats don't stop ratcheting up this type of rhetoric. Okay? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.